When I get asked, Paul, what do you do? My answer is very simple. I solve sales problems, period. Including referrals we would give other people in other states, right? So when we do referrals, we're at 75% and they're at 25, right?
Yes.
Okay, so just think about that. We could get more referrals than we would get personal listings. Why? Because we really have two markets, Texas and New Mexico, right? But if we go outside of that, right? Or let's just keep it El Paso and exclusive for right now. But if we go to Austin, Texas, once I get my license and you get yours here, I can go to Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
And we just hired an agent that, listen, I just need you to do the dog and pony show. We'll pay you $500, $600, whatever the case may be. We may even want to give them 10% because it's not a referral. But the point is, anytime we give a referral, we're at 75%, right? So
no, they get 75, we get 25.
Oh, see, that's what I kept asking you.
They get 75. They do all the legwork. All we do is drop the referral and walk away and wait for the check.
Okay. All right. Okay, so we're at 25%.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's the standard, right? So can we negotiate a higher price?
Absolutely.
Okay. Because
I started at 85 and 15, and then I went to 20, and now I'm at 25, and it's no problem. Whatever you negotiate. So, if it's a $1 million project, we can split it 50-50.
Okay. Because now that got me thinking of something else. Because let's say we got somebody in an area that's really good, right? And we do referral. We could do a scale. Listen, if we bring you $1 million in, referral, then we're gonna do what they call the retro. So we give you one for 300,000. We're at 25%, but like the volume scale, right? So if we bring you $1 million in listings, right? We want 60% or something like that. You know what I mean? Because the thing is, we're not going to bring referrals. In my mind, I can't, that word just doesn't fit right with me. I'm bringing you a turnkey operating situation where you would have never gotten that. First of all, if I get the seller on the phone with the agent in another state, that's more valuable than anything they've ever heard. That's worth more than 25%.
Okay.
Number two is I have to know that agent can close a deal because our income is attached to that. And remember, when the seller signs on with that agent, we can't do nothing with that seller. No, I can't bring another agent to them. You see what I'm saying? So I know that because this guy if he or she doesn't do a work and they're just getting a listing and they're not doing nothing, we just lost, that when I could have had other agents. Because the way I'm talking to sellers now through my advertisement is every seller needs an agent, but you're too stubborn to know that you.
I'm on the phone. Please. Email. Okay. Thanks. Bye. That was Celeste. She changed the password.
Okay. So this is what I tell sellers that in my ad. I go, sellers need to understand that they need an agent. They just don't want one. So my job, Paul Cruz, is to get you what you need, which is an agent, right? So when I talk to sellers now, I pre-qualify. I say, listen, if I could bring you an agent in that local area that has a lot of experience, has done a lot of escrow, where the sellers are happy, the buyers are happy, and the agents make money, would you entertain that? When they say yes, now I know all I got to do is talk to several agents, find out who's more qualified, and then bring the seller, right? That's valuable work because what they're getting, they're getting a turnkey operating situation. They're not getting a referral. They're getting a customer in my eyes. So I have to make sure we don't lose that. You know what I mean? Because once we give it to them, we're at their mercy if they're going to close the deal or not. So that's why part of the process when I talk to agents, hey, how many deals have you closed the last year? How many were sellers and how many were buyers that you represented? Listen, I'm going to bring you prospects that are ready to sign contracts, but it's not about listing, it's can you sell the property? If you cannot, I don't want to give you a referral and a turnkey operating business when I'm not going to make any money and I'm doing all the work. So
I understand that.
You understand? But they need to hear it. Because they don't like. Now, again, a lot of agents, they like to list, they don't like to sell.
I know. It's true.
Right? So if our income, if some of our income is going to be attached to certain people, we have to do more of a like with this Daniel, he's a nice guy, whatever, but at the end, we wasted a lot of time. I don't want us to do it. I don't want us to do that. So next time we got to make sure they sign a referral fee thing first. And if they're young, like Daniel, we're going to flip the script. No, we're getting 75, you're getting 25, because I don't know if you could close a deal. When you show me that you could close a deal and get it into escrow, then you have negotiation power against us. If not, I'll just go to another agent. Because here's the thing is, if we get 5 leads, let's say in Tennessee, right? And people in Tennessee are looking for good leads, I'm going to talk to at least 4 or 5 brokers. I'm going to say, listen, I got 5 leads right now. They're ready to sign a contract. I'm not licensed there, but my broker, she's going to, we're going to be referral. But before we give a referral, I'm telling you, it's going to be 50-50. If you can't handle that, that's fine. Why? Because we have something they need. Like the seller needs an agent. We got to get them to want an agent. Agents need good qualified leads because they don't want to do the work. Not all of them, but a majority of them. So I'm willing to do the work for you. I'm willing to pass you the baton, but guess what? You're not going to get 75%. We just can't.
Okay, your negotiations is fine.
Okay,
I just negotiate everything.
Okay, because I don't want us to continue to spend our valuable. Remember, we don't want to waste your time, our time. I apply the same thing to agents. Why? Because they're the biggest waster of time. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately. Yeah. And then they wonder why they broke, right? You see what I'm saying? So that's just my thinking on that.
I'm good with it, Paul.
You're good with that? Okay. And what I'll do is I'll say, listen, I had to talk to my broker. Yeah, I don't know what she's going to say, but let me see what I could do for you. Let me see if I could get you a little bit more. Right now, it's 50-50. Now, I want to see how they respond, because at the end, if I'm willing to negotiate, right, I have to know the value I have and bring to the table. If I don't bring anything to the table, let's do 25% all day. But guess what, Ms. Jody, you and I bring a lot of value to the table. We spend the time, the quality time to increase our value. Now, we sacrifice a lot of money for that, but at the end, value is going to eventually get paid by money, right? So I'm looking at this. If I, like that lady that we spoke with yesterday, let's say we're getting close. Let's say she was in Texas, right? But she's in Las Cruces. But let's say she was in Texas. Or this guy, Ed Rush, I'm spending a lot of time with him, right? He likes me where he wants to move forward. Should I just give a local agent, even if she's my friend that I train, should I just give her 75%? Now, I would, because she's good and she knows how to get the job done. But in essence, hold on a second. I got somebody that's ready to sign a contract. You don't have to do different. You don't have to do nothing. I want 50%. I have to trust that you could sell this house, because I told him we can sell this house. I'm going to go get the buyer while she's doing the selling. So we get the buyer, we're going to ask for the same thing, right? So all I'm saying is, if we bring value to the table, we want to start at 50%, period. We either go up in percent or we go down depending on the value they bring. Because
when we get there, Paul, we'll cross that bridge.
As far as what?
As negotiations.
Well, I got to start negotiating now with this Ed Rush when I speak to Anahi. So all I'm saying, see, you don't begin negotiations when you get there. You negotiate and you strategize now, as you and I doing. So when we get there, then we could do that. That's all I'm trying. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Okay. So that's so I'm trying to make sure that the leads we get that we're going to refer, that we're maximizing it and we're getting does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go to the third topic. Do you like this $1 million? The most valuable skill you can learn is to become a dynamic, powerful, and exciting sales person.